Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's time to walk over to the other side of the expansive Studio 9. Our TSN hockey insider, Darren Dreger, is hanging out. And he's not letting go of that phone because, you know, he can constantly be breaking trades, talking to agents. Who knows who he's talking to right now? How are you, buddy?
Doing okay. How about you?
I'm great. I don't think anybody's better than Pat Verbeek. He got the guy he wanted in the end, but it's this is a bizarre situation.
Yeah.
Are we any closer to knowing exactly why Cutter Gauthier wanted out of Philadelphia?
Well, there are theories out there. There's speculation, but the reality is there's still more questions than answers because you're talking about two very young players, right? Unproven. Cutter Gauthier, now property of the Ducks, and Jamie Drysdale coming back to the Philadelphia Flyers. You know, the tricky part of the scenario where Gauthier is concerned is that Philadelphia tried to engage with him and his advisor on a myriad of different times. I know that the brass of the Flyers went over to Sweden in an effort to meet with Gauthier, and that didn't pan out. Other members of the organization went to Boston to meet with him on campus, and he declined to meet with the representatives of the Philadelphia Flyers then. So, look, there's a difference if you don't want to sign. You don't have to sign.
Yeah.
But at least according to our sources within the organization, they don't have an answer as to why. What they knew was they couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah.
And so Danny Briere has been working on this deal for quite some time. And in the end, hey, again, for both young players, both organizations, let's hope it works out.
Keith Jones seems pretty happy.
Yeah.
Pat Verbeek is pretty happy.
Yeah.
This is a player he coveted. Now you wonder, and you've been reporting this, a lot of speculation about Trevor Zegras.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to believe, but then at the same time, this is a player who's dynamic offensively and maybe lacks in other areas of the game. So maybe it's not such a big surprise that maybe Trevor Zegras' name is out there.
No, I mean, his name is out there, and I know that the Anaheim Ducks at least have explored the level of interest that there might be in Trevor Zegras. Now, I'm not suggesting that it was yesterday or it was recent. I think you have to look in the bigger scope of the Anaheim Ducks and how they're trying to position themselves moving forward. We know he's an elite level skill, and he vowed when he came back into the mix this year that he was going to work harder on the defensive side of his game, and he is putting in the work. So provided that there isn't a regression, I wouldn't say that a Trevor Zegras trade is imminent, but you have to explore the possibilities if you're management of the Anaheim Ducks. It feels to me, Jay, that if, capital IF, a deal like this is going down, it's more likely in the offseason.
Okay, let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs because we are legally obliged to do so at this network. William Nylander deal gets done, 8 years, $11.5 million on the AAV, and it makes you already look ahead to that potential Mitch Marner unrestricted free agency, July the 1st, 2025, 4-point night against the Sharks on Tuesday. How does the Nylander deal affect the Marner potential deal?
Well, it does, but it may not be as big an influence as some would expect. The reality is the salary cap is going to continue to go up, 87.7 next year. So William Nylander on 11.5 annual average salary will take up about 13.1% of the Toronto Maple Leafs salary cap. So do the projection to the following year when you've got to deal with John Tavares and Mitch Marner. The assumption is that the cap could climb another $4 million. Is that going to be enough to appease all the contracts that Brad Treliving is going to have to deal with and representatives? And I don't have an answer for that. I guess I would say no if I was pushed. So maybe there's a decision that has to be made. Is Mitch Marner going to be in a position where he thinks he deserves a raise? I would say, yeah, that's fair. Then you have to make a decision. Can you afford both the captain, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner? And if you can't, then it gets difficult.
Always interesting in Leafland. It's interesting everywhere. Everyone's looking for help on the blue line right now.
Yeah.
Could we see some potential deals involving defensemen happen even over the next couple of weeks before the trade deadline?
You could, and maybe as we get closer to the All-Star break, we're not that far away from it, right? And that's not abnormal. And look, a deal like the one that just went down with the Anaheim Ducks and the Philadelphia Flyers involved Jamie Drysdale, right shot defenseman. That can kind of spark the cycle a little bit. I checked in with Calgary earlier in the day. It's quiet there. Not a lot has changed. We're talking about Noah Hannafin. We're talking about Chris Tanev. You've got Elias Lindholm there as well. The Philadelphia Flyers, in fairness, might be one of, if not the busiest team leading up to the March 8th trade deadline, because now that they've acquired Drysdale, no secret, they would absolutely move Sean Walker, Nick Seeler is there, and potentially Ristolainen. And the Flyers have let it be known that they're willing to retain salary. So
interesting.
That's, in reality, that's currency for a lot of cap teams.
Can I go back to Hannafin really quickly?
Sure.
Any chance whatsoever, even though, they seemed to have a deal earlier in the year, then they didn't.
Yeah.
Any chance it could circle back? It could still potentially get done.
Yeah, there's always that chance, right? But if you're Craig Conroy in Calgary, you're approaching a point on the calendar where you've got to say to him, okay, we know that you wanted to push away from the offer that you came a whisker away from signing, $60 million deal. So has there been a change of heart? And there's no doubt that there'd be dialogue between Conroy and the agent, Pat Brisson. So I can't say with certainty that there's zero chance that he signs, because look at his minutes, Jay. I mean, he's a 25-minute defenseman for the Calgary Flames. They're a pretty good team right now. He's playing well. So there's a chance.
Okay, let's move on to my favorite segment in the history of this show. It's time for all of your animal dreams unfurled. We're talking Darren Dreger Safari World. I was so excited about this post you made. Tell us about this post, Dregs, earlier this week.
Yeah, well, that's Tiny the Great Dane. She's a beauty. She's 9 years old. We were out for a walk. Now, anyone in Western Canada, Northern Ontario, across the country who are used to cold climates are going to say this is ridiculous. But it was like -7. We're at the farthest point of our walk.
Yeah.
And Tiny freezes up a little bit. The paws are starting to lift. And we had to have a heart-to-heart. It was a little tough love. I had to say to her, look, you're 140 pounds. I don't like my chances of carrying you back 2 kilometers. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to toughen up, and we're going to walk home, and that's what happened.
And when Tiny got, but that was a picture of Tiny at the end.
That was
very
it.
Tired.
She was gassed.
Yeah, she was done with it. You could have probably done the fireman carry, I bet.
Well, I probably could, trying to get her up over the shoulders. As long as we didn't get it on camera, we'd be okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Thanks for this, buddy. Appreciate it. Coming up on the television program, so much to get to. Luke Wilson stops by to break down Super Wildcard Weekend and his thoughts on the Titans firing Mike Vrabel.